Hey everyone, I just wanted to give you a bit of a breakdown of how the course typically will work, kind of a general blueprint. So the weeks will run from Monday morning, typically around 8 or 9 a.m. is when I'll open the new week online, until Sunday night at midnight. So the expectation is that you'll have completed that week's work by Sunday night. Um, Typically, only the current week or previous weeks will be open. I won't be opening the entire course as we move through the material. I'll open what we're covering at that point. I know that many of you try and plan ahead and work ahead, but I found that in terms of online courses, in order to keep individuals engaged in the course itself, it's important to kind of stay current, if you will. Along those lines, one of the most important elements of this class are the discussion boards. I've posted instructions on how to post to those boards. I don't want you simply typing out responses. There's been a lot of research that demonstrates the importance of being able to see who you're communicating with. So I ask that you record videos to submit as your discussion responses. So your first video for the weeks where there is a discussion board assigned will be due by Thursday night at midnight. And then I expect that by the end of the weekend or end of the week, you will have submitted an additional video response to somebody else's initial response. So typically I'll post a bunch of questions that I ask you to respond about or to think about. You don't have to do any outside research. If you want to tie some in, feel free. But typically it's to get your views and opinions on the topics that we're covering or related topics. I've provided instructions on how to submit those videos via the discussion boards and of the course itself. There will also be some writing assignments, very brief writing assignments related to the readings themselves. Some of these weeks will also include quizzes, which I don't think that I included on the syllabus, but there may be some quizzes which will just be done via. Beyond that, there will be a semester-long kind of project that I'll expect you to be working on related to technology applications or technological applications in criminal justice. I'll give you more details on that as we get started and move forward in the course. Beyond that, I just wanted to kind of give you my views on the course itself. Hopefully after you watch this video, you go and check out the syllabus, or you've already checked out the syllabus. And I decided to break this course down into a couple of kind of different broader modules. The first is technology and crime. How do criminals tend to use technology, or, how has technology assisted in criminal behavior? So we'll talk about the dark net, the dark web, the deep web. We'll talk about the Silk Road and other online criminal marketplaces that typically are located out on the dark web. We'll talk about child pornography. We'll talk about radicalization online. Many of the topics that we'll cover during this first section, can be extremely disturbing. And so I try and give you as much heads up related to the specific material that we're covering. If there's if there's violence involved, or children involved in the stories, etc., as it can be extremely disturbing and triggering to some people. If that's an issue for you, please just let me know. It's not a big deal to me to allow you to skip that material, especially if it causes a lot of distress to you. That's absolutely acceptable, and I actually encourage you to do so. Then we'll talk about policing and technology and the different uses there in terms of the sharing of information. We'll talk about information centers. We'll talk about body cams, drones, different uses of technology by law enforcement. Then we'll move into courts and corrections. We'll talk a fair amount about bail and the use of attempting to deal with dangerousness and how that's used in the criminal justice system, as well as in kind of more simple approaches to using technology. If at any point, again, you have any issues, please feel free to shoot me an email. I do prefer that you send me an email rather than a message through Canvas. Once again, I look forward to a fantastic class.